And we're going to see once this stuff starts trickling in. Design, live stream. And they end up changing anything like after we're already live. It is what it is. I do not care too much. But as people start to trickle in, and the support guy is also messaging me. Of course, this happens. The awkward moments when we start a live stream and things are not going well. But anyways, right. Also, the whoever is on the OLE YouTube account did say have an amazing show and
Mm.
hard to kill. Look forward to the post show. Thank you. But yes,
It's probably Bobby.
uh, even if it is Bobby, I don't. That's
Yeah.
very nice of Bobby. So get all this stuff together. God, it's crazy to think that we're like an hour away from TNA being back.
Yeah, it feels weird.
What even? Like, I'm not mad at it at all though. So yeah. All right. Twitter's doing its things. But yeah. Welcome everyone to our little special live episode of My Guest at This Time. Jose Gonzalez here. It is a special live edition. We are not only live on YouTube, we're live on Twitch again. This is my first time live on Twitch since early last year. Completely done with Jose Can You See, by the way. So everything from now on, Jose on the Air or Jose on the Air Games if you're on my YouTube gaming channel. But I'm excited. It is a good day to be here because we are less than an hour away from TNA Wrestling once again coming back with Hard to Kill 2024. And I am being joined by one of my favorite guests that I've gotten to interview over the years. You've seen me on their shows, you've seen her on my shows, whether it's doing stuff with our local establishments, whether you see her contributing article wise to bodyslam.net. She is what they call the natural. Astrid Pizarro. Astrid, how are you?
Feeling better. I can talk. I can breathe. I feel like a human again. No, thank you for having me here with you.
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much for joining me. I know it's going to be a busy night for you. I mean, you're doing pre and post show coverage. I do not envy you today, girl. So, hey,
No.
no worries about that. But yeah, it's an exciting time. I'm looking forward to it. Hi, Michael. Good to see you. But yeah, let's get this show on the road. So, we are getting ready for a countdown to Hard to Kill starting right at the top of the hour. So, before we even get into the matches that we have announced for the whole evening, Astra, do you have any memories from the previous TNA era, whether it was getting to go to a show or just how you found TNA?
Yeah, I remember finding it first because my dad used to follow so many people at the time that he was just like, "Oh, there's Sting is over here and Christian Cage is over here, so let's follow all those people there." So we started watching it because of him mostly, and we ended up going when they were taping here in Universal Orlando. So we ended up going to like Hardcore Justice and like TNA like Impact tapings, and I think those are the ones that we did. And I know we did like a live show as well. So I definitely have experience of being there and taking pictures of the shows too. So it's one of those things that I can never forget with TNA.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that you got a chance to do like the old school TNA stuff. Oddly enough, my first time ever going to TNA or even Impact was not until the very first multiverse at Dallas in 2022 WrestleMania weekend. Don't mind me. I was almost dying because I managed to choke on coffee. So if you heard a cough before, I had to mute. We're live, folks. But yeah, no. My first event I got to go to is that first multiverse show. Got to go to Bound for Glory in 2022. Just an amazing time with that. I remember just being a kid, like randomly searching for stuff on TV. It was not too long after I was watching WWE pretty religiously, I would say. So like 2006, 2007, I stumbled across a six-sided wrestling ring. I'm like, what is this? And then not too long after that was like the beginning of the Knockouts division and like that Bound for Glory where the Knockouts championship was created. So like early memories of seeing the X division, Gail Kim, Chris, obviously Chris Sabin, Alex Shelley, right before Kurt Angle ended up going there, or right after, one of the two. Sting was there, so just some of the big heavy hitters of that era TNA, and then just getting to see how much it would evolve over the years and really just still become a mainstay in wrestling over the last 20 years, which is incredible. So I'm excited for tonight. It feels like a return to form, feels like a renaissance of sorts. So I mean, there's so many things that I could just say. Like, do you have a favorite TNA match from back in the day that you were always kind of going back to?
I know one that I forget what stipulation it was, but it was one of those that was Gail Kim and Taryn Terrell, I think it was. One
Hmm.
of those like hardcore type of matches. I will never forget about it because I kept thinking, I was like, I wish at that time I kept wishing the WB girls would do matches like that because it was so hard hitting and it was
Hmm.
just incredible. And I love, especially when I think about it this way, people like Gil Kim and Mickey James and like Victoria such Tara. When I think about them, I think about their time in TNA and Impact than their time in WWE because I feel like it was a lot more meaningful there, watching them grow in the way they did in the women's division, the knockouts. It's one of those things like I keep thinking of like they're the ones that really inspired me to like want something like that for WWE at that moment. And I think TNA doesn't get enough credit for having part of that women's revolution in that aspect.
No, I agree too, because especially, I mean, I was able to see kind of the early days of Gail Kim and Awesome Kong. So, like, seeing those matches that they got to have, whether it's the hardcore knockout Roxy when they would do those bimbo brawls, and she would just go balls to the walls with just not being afraid to put her body on the line for anything, which is extremely admirable. I think that there's so many different knockouts we got to see over the time. Mickey, Tara, I mean, Daphne is another one that comes to mind, Taylor Wilde, Sarita. There's just a hotbed for women's wrestling that we didn't get to see for a long time on mainstream television until like the mid 2010s, really, when WWE started to change the tide with how they were starting to treat their own women's division. So having that built-in legacy of the knockouts always being that sort of gold standard and the true alternative to any product that was on television at the time. It was really something to behold. So I'm glad that we're kind of seeing that, especially now that we have the new championships and everything. We've seen how influential and impactful, no pun intended, Trinity has been with coming into TNA last year and really just taking the division by storm and really becoming like one of the stalwarts of the company. So very exciting stuff that we're getting into. So let's start with some of the stuff that we have going on for the countdown. So one of the later matches announced was a battle of two former TNA World Champions. So we have Rich Swann and Steve Macklin. So Astrid, what are your thoughts on this one to start things out?
This one's what I'm torn about because I really like both of them, but I keep thinking of like the momentum that Macklin had last year, and I just feel like it hit like at that moment when I think he got injured, if I'm not mistaken, at that moment that he just like
Mm-hmm.
it just everything really stopped. And I really want him to get like a proper moment for himself with the championship. So that's what I keep waiting for, that moment that he starts winning matches, starts getting back on track to towards that championship. So it's like I feel like I'm leaning more towards him winning, but I wouldn't be mad with either one of them winning, to be honest.
No, I mean I agree. I feel like all momentum was kind of just halted for Steve Macklin the second that he lost the title to Alex Shelley because I also really felt like it was out of the blue because he was very newly a champion. He was on top of just like really grinding so much from 2023. I thought he was really going to really take the ball and run with it once Josh Alexander had to vacate the title. So really hoping that this can be a course correction year for Steve Macklin. I see bright things for him, whether it's still going to be with TNA or maybe perhaps joining his wife over in AEW. Who knows? But I would probably lean a little bit more towards Steve Macklin as well for this one. But yeah, so that is one of the early matches on the countdown. We also have a little tag team match we have going on. We have Eddie Edwards teaming up with Brian Myers. He will be taking on Eric Young and Frankie Kazarian. So a battle of some TNA originals going against two guys that are really just trying to prove that it might not matter what era they're in because it's their era instead. So, what are your thoughts about this one, Astrid?
This one's another one of those that I really don't mind who wins it, but being that it's basically the revival of TNA, I would like the TNA originals to win this match though, and just
Mhm.
get that pride of being the people that started TNA for us to begin with. So I definitely would prefer if Eric Young and Kazarian won this.
Yeah, I think so too. I mean, especially considering the fact that Frankie Kazarian left AEW specifically to come back to Impact, come to back to TNA. He's still hungry for that world championship he has yet to have, which is still crazy to say in 2024 that somehow Frankie Kazarian has not held that world title quite yet. So it's going to be interesting to see what comes of this year for him. Obviously, Eric Young coming back after leaving WWE, really just a good time to say what's old is new again, especially with this rebrand back to TNA. So I'm leaning a little bit more towards the originals as well. Too, going to be interesting to see how Brian Myers pairs with Eddie Edwards, because Eddie's always kind of been about himself and Lish lately, not really doing too well with stables, as we saw with Honor No More, and obviously the Wolves back in the day dissolving as well. So really going to be the odd one out here. I'm excited to see. And then we also have a no disqualification match for the Digital Media Championship with Crazy Steve challenging with his future fired briefcase against Tommy Dreamer. What are you thinking for this one, Astrid?
Oh my God, please give it to Crazy Steve finally. I just like, what is Tommy Dreamer winning with a digital media championship? Why? Why? It doesn't fit. No.
No, it literally doesn't fit. He said he needed an extender. They didn't give it to him either time. So, I mean, just, oh, well, little comic relief there. He said it himself. I would need two extenders, so I don't know what I'm joking about. But yeah, no, I mean, just we've seen them going back and forth for months on end already. We've seen the forks being pulled out, Crazy Steve like almost being personified in a way that wasn't really done before because Tommy's trying to get to him as a person. Like the fact that you were doing anything in this ring is kind of miraculous with obviously the lack of vision and like the fact that you've been a mainstay in this company for over a decade now and just seeing how Steve, now that the decay is truly dissolved, I mean, just this is one of the rare occasions that we've got to see him on his own. So obviously before decay he was in the menagerie and just stuff like that. I feel like now is the most opportune time to have Crazy Steve get that shot at the Digital Media Championship and hopefully take the ball and run with it, because I mean he really has always been a very much an alternative kind of performer for anything they've had in TNA and Impact, going against just what they consider to be their sense of superstar. But yeah, I would say Crazy Steve is going to walk out with this one and new digital media champion. So it's going to be a very packed first hour for that countdown show before we go live on TNA Plus and on Trailer TV, wherever you have you. I believe on YouTube as well. You can buy a ticket for it. Jose, you're a little low. Oh, let me raise my mic volume. Thank you, Michael. Yeah, it could just be low in the studio, so thank you for telling me that. Let me double check and see output volume. Yeah, that should be better. But yeah, so going into the main pay-per-view card now, we're going to start things off. We have the TNA World Tag Team titles. We have ABC defending against the Rascals, defending against Speedball Mountain, which is Trent Seven and Mike Bailey, who Trent Seven is still crazy to think that he is finally in TNA as well as this last team, the Grizzled Young Veterans, Zach Gibson and James Drake finally making their way over to TNA. It's been crazy to see the second they left NXT. They've been everywhere. So this feels like it's going to be a barn burner for the tag titles. Astrid, what are your thoughts?
Uh, I I know I don't know why out of me I am already taking out Bailey and Trent Seven. I'm stuck between the other three teams. I cannot pick one, to be honest. Like I love ABC as a team, but I would like to see the Rascals there. And like they have done it with subcultures. Like it wouldn't surprise me if the Grizzled Young Veterans take it as well. So it's like I feel like either way it's gonna be a good one for me. I don't know,
Oh,
but I'm
wait, I
sticking
think
with
I just
ABC.
got an update in from Magic Impact. Michael saying Trent can't make it because of the travel issues going on.
Ooh,
So they might have to call an audible with who that extra partner is for Speedball. So that's good to know. But
oh, interesting.
I mean, travel aside, I was thinking just with everything going on. I mean, I don't want the Rascals to win the titles, not because they're not a great tag team, but they are brand new belts. We do not need the grease spray paint. Keep them where they are. I'm thinking it's really going to come down to ABC and Grizzled Young Vets. And
Mhm.
honestly, ABC has been such an amazing team over the last few years. I think they're going to retain, and we're probably going to get a
Mhm.
more drawn out program between them and Grizzled Young Vets for sure. So I'm going to say and still ABC.
Yeah, I
I think I lost Astrid on my end.
people,
Oh,
though. That'll be interesting.
yeah. Wait, Astrid, I think you cut out on my end. So who was your pick?
Yeah. I'm picking ABC.
Okay. Yeah, I'm thinking we're probably going to get ABC.
Mhm.
I mean, any one of these teams, they're good tag
Yeah.
teams, so I'm not too concerned either way. Just don't paint the belts; they're brand freaking new. Please, people. Yes. But aside from that, we also have Josh Alexander's Open Challenge. So he had this amazing. Oh, they announced Laredo Kid as a Speedball's replacement.
Oh.
Okay. Still ABC. But yes, going into the open challenge we have here from Josh Alexander, we saw this amazing promo talking about how he lost himself, not only just losing the championship, but just kind of like being off this weird path from just the fact that he had no real momentum last year, just trying to rebuild after his injury. And he made the direct challenge to one, I guess, now former MLW star and Alex Hammerstone, which was accepted. So Alex Hammerstone making his TNA debut tonight against a former Impact World Champion. So this is going to be interesting to see because Hammerstone is also former MLW World Champion. So Astrid, what are you thinking for this one?
I think there's going to be a great showcasing for him, and certainly either way, whether he wins or loses, I do expect Josh to win it, being that he's the person that signed to TNA. But it wouldn't surprise me. It will be one of those like having Josh win it, but have Hammerstone sign the contract on his back because they have been teasing a lot of signings today with no clue as to who it is. It seems like it's
Mhm.
more than one. I think it'll be cool to have that kind of tradition going on again, having people sign the contract on Josh's back. So I think
Yeah,
that'll be cool to see this happening tonight.
I agree. And then Flavor Freight in the chat asking, how do we watch the pre-show? It will be on TNA Plus, and I believe Triller TV is also going to have the pre-show as well.
Yeah,
I
on
don't know if
YouTube.
you have to subscribe for it on TNA Plus, but Triller TV, from what I've seen, it is free. Let me double check that for you because that is also where I ended up buying Hard to Kill for tonight. Let's
Yeah, and
see.
also on YouTube too, because that's where I have it uploaded for later too.
Yeah, so looking at this one, Triller TV, we're gonna go to TNA Hard to Kill. If we're going to the countdown, it is free on Triller TV at 7 p.m. Eastern. So if you go there, Triller TV, formerly Fight TV, they will have that pre-show live for the hour free of charge, which is always good to see. So going back to this one, I feel like we're gonna get a little bit of a curveball here. I think we're actually gonna see Hammerstone beat Josh Alexander in this one. I think it's gonna be a very strong showcase and a debut for him. I feel like with this, it's going to be kind of a perfect showcase of why exactly he was being considered as one of the hot free agents going into this new year. I think he's probably gonna win clean as well too, which is gonna really be interesting to see what they do with Josh Alexander after that point, just because at this point you made your shot, you called it directly, and if you're going to end up on your back, where do we go from here? So, I mean, you're going to either have to really work from the ground up, or it's going to be kind of a change in what we know Josh Alexander can truly be. So, I'm going to say that Hammerstone is going to be victorious in this TNA debut, and perhaps he might also get signed. You never know. Or he could just be doing show to show like so many have done in the past. So nothing's outside that realm of possibility, but I'm excited for this one because it's going to be a little bit of a technical power showcase. I'm excited. So, yes, going on into probably the match that I think I'm the most excited for this one. For the second time ever, we have a Knockouts Ultimate X match at Hard to Kill. We have some familiar faces. We have some newer faces to the Ultimate X. Are we expecting any NXT or AEW talent tonight? Says Flavor Freight. Thank you for subscribing to the channel as well. I don't, you know what? Before we get into the Ultimate X match, let's talk about this. So they've been saying you'll never believe who shows up. Do you have any ideas of who you would expect to see show up at Hard to Kill, Astrid?
This is me being selfish, but I would like Nick Nemeth to really debut tonight. I think that's one that I would love to see. I even though I know his brothers in AEW, I would like to see him more showcased in TNA. I feel like that will be more something that could be possible to see. Maybe you could see him both in the X division and as in the heavyweight division. So I feel like there's so many people I would like for him to face, like a Josh Alexander or even a Sabin, Shelley. So I feel like he has a lot of possibilities there.
Yeah, Nick Nemeth is a good name. I mean, Magic Impact in the chat's thinking Dana Brooke, Ashley Sabera. Obviously, it would be interesting to see her now that her no compete's done. I really want to see Mustafa Ali. Mustafa Ali is like my prime pick to debut tonight, whether it's in the world title program or in the X Division program. I feel like he would do so much in TNA. That's just, it's perfect because he's on his tour right now. He can still honor those dates and just get the platform to really showcase this is what I've been working on for the last 2 years. And they just completely dropped the ball on it. So he's one that I want to get his just desserts. I want to see him. I mean, Dana Brooke would be an interesting one. Nick Nemeth would be an interesting one as well. I'm wanting to see just also who's on the independent scene that we haven't seen signed yet that I think would be an interesting signee. I'm thinking someone like a High On would be a great addition to the Knockouts division for sure. Excuse me.
Mhm.
I mean, she's been in reality wrestling. We've seen her make some leaps and bounds over in the UK. She's done things in Germany. She's done things in Japan. I mean, Hyon is one that I would love to see get signed as well. Perhaps even depending on if he's not signed to a deal, or well, he probably wouldn't just because of the weather. But Kevin Blackwood is another one that I would love to see make his TNA debut this. Well, maybe not debut because he was doing some explosion stuff, but hopefully get a proper run in TNA is definitely one I'm thinking of. So yeah, money matches for him. So going into the Knockouts Ultimate X match, we have the previous winner of the Ultimate X match, Tasha Steeles, going against quintessential diva Giselle Shaw, going against Alicia Edwards, another former competitor of the Ultimate X match, going against Jody Threat, the wild card here of the division, going against Danny Luna of Subculture, and the newest member of the Knockouts roster, Zaya Brookside. So, Astrid, we have some really good names in this field here. Who are you thinking is going to walk away as the number one contender?
My Puerto Rican heart tells me I want Tasha to win it again, but I know that probably won't happen. This one, I feel like I'm stuck between somebody like a Giselle Chagas. I feel like we had Giselle getting momentum, little by little recently. So I feel like she's probably gonna get part of the not like the world title, for example, sometime sooner or later. But I also would like somebody like a Danny Luna to get kind of like her moment, or like I know we haven't seen her much in the knockouts division compared to subculture. She's been more accompanying them, but I would like to her to have that kind of spotlight. But if I were to pick a winner, I would definitely say Giselle.
Yeah, I feel like right now my top two is Giselle and Tasha. I feel like depending on what route they go with the world title picture later on tonight, honestly, I kind of want Tasha to run it back twice. I would love for Tasha to have a chance to be a two-time Ultimate X winner. I feel like just the fact that we're even seeing her twice in this match shows how dependable she is, just what she brings to the table with her experience in this match. I think she's going to lead the match. But Giselle Shaw, I mean, she's someone that I feel like by the time this year is over, she's going to have held a championship in TNA, whether it's going to be the Knockouts World title, whether it's the tag titles, whether it's even the digital media title. I feel like we're going to see Giselle Shaw as champion in 2024. So I'm torn between those two. I probably am gonna lean a little bit more towards Tasha Steeles on this one, just because we haven't really got to see her mix it up too much this past year. Obviously, of her being out for whatever reasons and then coming back later in the year. But yeah, it's gonna be a fun match. I feel like they might be able to outdo the previous Ultimate X match pretty easily too. So I'm very excited for that, and I believe it is gonna kick off the main card as well too. So I'm excited for that. Moving on, we have Dirty Dango. He's being accompanied by Alpha Bravo and by Oleg Prudius. He's going to be taking on PCO one on one. I don't think it's going to take a rocket scientist to figure this one out. I'm going to say PCO.
PCO doesn't die. There's no way we can go against PCO.
Yeah. PCO re-signing is proof that he will never die, because I thought he was going to die at Bound for Glory, honestly, and he was the winner. So, I mean, Dirty Dango, bless his heart. It's just PCO all the way on this one. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Nice try, Dango. Let's see you next time.
Yeah, and I would love to see Prudius turn on him, and that sets up something completely different, because I know that Dango himself talking about how much he hates professional wrestling. I mean, let's be honest here. It's going to be a squash match, and I'm going to look forward to it, and it's going to be a good time. Now, something else that's going to be a really, really good time is we have a triple threat for the X Division Championship. We have El Hijo de Vikingo. I believe he's still the AAA Mega Champion. Correct me if I'm wrong. He is going against Kushida and going against the incumbent champion, Chris Sabin. So this is going to be a very fun match.
Yeah, the spots during this match for the high flyers, they're gonna be so incredible. I cannot begin to imagine them, to be honest. This one though, I feel like I see Saving retaining. I don't see Kushida winning it, and I feel like Leo and Vikingo is just basically going on a American tour all around everywhere. So I don't see him winning a championship right now in another company. But it'll be nice to see him somewhere other than AEW to see how he mixes up with other people.
I mean, I agree. I mean, I wouldn't be mad if Hijo de Vikingo ended up getting it, just because of the fact that we've
Mm,
had so many different multiverses when it came to AAA and with TNA anyways. So
mm.
definitely having that representation, I could see him taking the X Division Championship on AEW. nothing's never been done before when it comes to taking other championships to AEW. We've seen TNA, we've
Mhm.
seen NWA, we've seen AAA, we've seen New Japan. So very much a place for many different championships to go. But I don't know. I feel like this one, it might be Kushida. I thought that Chris Sabin was honestly going to use Option C and challenge Alex Shelley going into this pay per view before we ended up finding out from
Mhm.
Feast or Fired. So I don't know. I feel like I'm going to say Kushida and New. I don't mind being wrong. I don't mind anyone winning, but it would be nice to see what Kushida can do with the X Division title for sure. And also, Magic Impact in the chat saying in his Madison Rain voice, PCO is bound for glory and you're bound for failure. From that iconic Mickey James promo from Impact in 2010. Who could ever forget? Going into two main event matches now, we have ourselves up first. We have the Call Your Shot Gauntlet winner, Jordan Grace, challenging Trinity for the Knockouts World Championship in a first time ever matchup. Astrid, your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't see Trinity losing this championship probably until the moment she's about to leave. And probably that's not happening for like another few months. So I think she keeps it until that happens. So I definitely am keeping Trinity for this one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if Trinity's going to be leaving anytime soon. Honestly, I definitely feel like there will be some sort of presence for her at the Royal Rumble, whether it's as Naomi or not. I feel like this is going to be another one of those Mickey James years where WWE makes kind of their relationship with TNA. We're going to see another Knockouts World Champion enter the Royal Rumble. So I'm going to say, and still, Trinity. Now, the real question is, do we have this match, anyone coming out after the match, do you think, to call shots at Trinity? Because I can think of one that I would love to see.
Selfishly, I know she's probably not signed with them. It's not one of those big signings they're hinting at tonight. But if I could get Mercedes to interrupt Trinity after this, I will be a happy girly. I'm just letting you know.
I feel like Mercedes Monet is in the business of making money. I feel like even if it's not going to be like a proper run or like even a contract, I feel like there's so much invested for her and Trinity to have that singles match outside of WWE after the journeys they've both been on the last year. I feel like Trinity's going to retain, and we're going to get that awesome match between Mercedes Monet and Trinity. And that's no discredit to Jordan Grace. Obviously, she's been an amazing talent. She's been a Triple Crown champion in TNA. She's been the first ever digital media champion. If anything, I feel like this is going to be her way into more of the men's division. I could see her either winning the X Division championship or even the men's world championship sometime this year. I feel like now is the time. Strike the iron while it's hot. Jordan Grace is going to have a very fruitful 2024, regardless of what division she chooses to compete in, because she's done it all. I mean, she's been in an Ultimate X match with men and women. She's been such a dominant champion we've seen so many times before. I feel like this is going to be a great year for the Juggernaut. I just don't think tonight is going to be her night.
Yeah, I would have loved for her to have been the first like female world champion, like TNA world champion. I would have preferred if it was Jordan, to be honest.
Emphasis on TNA World Champion who doesn't leave the title
Yeah.
in a different country or, all that stuff. We don't talk about TV. But yeah, something we do also talk about is the main event of the pay per view. We have Moose challenging with his Feast or Fired Championship challenge that he has from the briefcase, going against the incumbent champion Alex Shelley, a TNA original, going against the man who tried to bring back the TNA World Championship in an era where there was no world champion. In his own words, he mentioned that in 2020 when the world champion was nowhere to be found, ended up leaving the company, ended up having to vacate the championship. So I will say I've never really been the biggest Moose fan. Just something about him just never resonated with me. But I will be damned if he doesn't speak some truths about like the fact that he's really tried to be a true company man, which I will always honor, and the fact that how much he's put into his run, whether it was with previously Impact going into TNA or just the different things that he's been able to do. So I don't think Alex Shelley is going to be losing the championship anytime soon. I feel like if anything, this is going to be a great showcase of what's old is new again. And I'm going to say, and still TNA World Champion, the Motor City Machine Gun, Alex Shelley. Astrid, wherever you are, come back to us. Apologies
Can
for
you
the
hear me?
technical difficulties tonight, guys. Astrid, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, I think your camera's just frozen, but that is fine. Astrid, your
Mm.
thoughts on this World Championship match?
Yeah, I'm definitely sticking with Shelly too. I would like for that like momentum for Steve Macklin to go towards Alex Shelley and hopefully have the title from him. So I'm definitely sticking with Alex retaining.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see kind of what comes of this world title picture. So I know we were also just kind of talking about the fact that we would love to see like Nick Nemeth or even Mustafa Ali come out. Are you thinking there's going to be someone coming out to call their shot at Alex Shelley next?
Uh, I think I would have liked, like I said, just have Steve win his match at the beginning and just call out Alex Shelley at the end, something like that. Even if it's just like between in-house and TNA, keep them going like that with that momentum.
Yeah. So I mean, I could totally see. I mean, now do I backpedal and say I want Chris Sabin to retain? Because we haven't had option C yet. And I feel like that's how we get
Mhm.
the face off between him and Shelley for the title.
I thought about that too.
You know what? I'm going to do it first. I'm going to retract a previous statement on a prediction show. This never happens. I'm going to say that Chris Sabin's going to retain his X Division championship. And then at the end of the show, we're going to get option C. Whether he chooses to cash it in tonight or if it's going to be setting up for something down the line, I think we're finally going to start building towards that one-on-one match between him and Alex Shelley
Mhm.
for the TNA World Championship.
Yeah, that's definitely another great option.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting one. So, I mean, this is going to be a really fun night, regardless of whatever happens. People are really looking forward to this new era of TNA. I think it's going to be a fun time getting to see just how things come into form with this new era. So, anything that you would love to see for TNA in 2024, Astrid?
I definitely like to see like they're already teasing it tonight with a lot of signings, so definitely seeing who the signings are and how they get involved with the roster that we have right now. It's something that I'm looking forward to. And like you said,
Mhm.
I'm waiting and hoping still if we get that Trinity cameo at the Rumble with the TNA Knockouts World Championship. Being that I'm gonna be at the Rumble, I would love to see that as well.
Yeah, I would love to see it too. I mean, it's going to be interesting to kind of see what ends up happening with things as we progress. I don't know if my camera is also frozen on the live stream now, but it could
Yeah,
just
you're being
be.
freezing for me every now and then, so I don't know.
See, you've been freezing for me too, so I think
Yeah.
it's just something with the platform I'm on.
Mhm.
So no worries with that. We probably won't be using it again next time. You heard it here first, folks. But yes, so I am very much excited for this show. I think this year is going to be really good for TNA. I would love to see them start to slowly ramp up to some bigger venues. I feel like come this time, or come Bound for Glory time in the fall, I would love to see them in more of a traditional arena. I would love to see like maybe like 3, 4, 5,000 people if they can get it, because I feel like they're going to make good on a lot of things that they might have done wrong in the past. And I feel like this is going to be an era where we have so many hungry talents just waiting for a chance to showcase that they are as good as not better than people are trying to make this company out to be. So the fact that they're really doubling down and going back to TNA shows how much faith they have in here. So let's take a look and see. So anything else that you would love to plug while we're here right now, Astrid? I know you're also going to be live a little bit later on our local establishment, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, Bobby and I are gonna be doing the Hard to Kill post show after the show's over tonight as well. So I'm really excited to just be talking about everything that happens with all the teasing that we got tonight. So to be able to, to talk about it later on, it's gonna be super exciting.
Yeah, no, I'm excited too. So it's gonna be a fun show. I will probably be tuning in. I know it's gonna be a late night tonight. So even if I'm not
Mhm.
like obviously hopping on, I will probably be watching, chatting. If I fall asleep and I'm lurking, no, I didn't fall asleep. I'm paying very much close attention. And we'll also watch the VOD the next day just to make sure I remembered it correctly. So but yeah, Astrid, thank you so much for joining me for this pre-show for Hard to Kill. I am very much excited to see what comes at the top of the hour. Also, I don't know if you guys in the chat are aware of this, but I mean, Astrid is now officially a credentialed media member going into WWE's Royal Rumble at the end of the month. So I am very much excited for everything that we have going on this coming year for you, as well as just any other endeavors that we have. So kudos to you, Astrid. This is going to be a monumental year for you. I hope that it's everything you make of it. And for everyone that's been joining in on YouTube and on Twitch, thank you so much for being here. I will be back on Twitch a little bit later this month. We have not only the Royal Rumble pre-show that I will be doing live, but we are going to be doing a full playthrough of the Tekken 8 story mode on Twitch and my gaming YouTube. So stay tuned for that. And I will see you all on the next episode of my guest at